Hey, Cosmic Superstars, welcome to Honest Flow. My name is Teo, and as always, it's a pleasure to have you here with me. So, before we begin, I hope you don't mind. I would like to cleanse this virtual sacred space with my beautiful singing bowl, and this is um, one of many of my singing bowls. I actually have two crystal bowls and two other brass bowls, but yeah, I thought it would be nice for us to share this moment together. Now, before we begin, you may want to close your eyes and just sort of absorb this energy and let it just cleanse your aura, meaning your energy field. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a little bit of a sound bath, a gift from me to you, and also a gift for myself. So, yeah, today's video, I just wanted to sort of ramble, as I usually do, about what's sort of happening right now with me and what I'm working on, and also sort of apologize for not being online or recording as many videos as I do. I've just been really, really busy, I guess. And it's funny when I say that because a part of me is like, well, have you been busy? Or it doesn't seem like it. And yeah, it's sort of funny that. And actually, I want to say happy 11/11 because I'm actually recording this on the 11th of the 11th, 2023. And the interesting thing is, my very first video on this channel was actually recorded on the 11th of the 11th, 2022. And yeah, it's been one whole year, and if I can be honest, I know it's been sort of a slow burn, a slow journey, and that is because I've just been so busy and preoccupied with other things, meaning work. And also, for those of you who are not aware, I did lose my fur baby, Dory, who was very close to turning 5. And yeah, I don't know if you can see her over here. This is Dory, who passed yeah, in April of this year. And that's Bolo, who's still around. He's out in the living room somewhere. And yeah, it's just been a very, I feel the word that sums up how I've been feeling this year is sort of tired. Like my soul has been tired and exhausted, and yeah, just ready for changes and shifts. And that is probably why I ended up resigning from my job. So, again, if you're not aware and you're new here, I actually resigned from my corporate job. I was working for a charity organization as a project coordinator, and I won't lie, I was actually getting paid pretty well, pretty decent for what my role was. And yeah, I actually gave that all up almost 2 months ago. So I finished up sort of end of September, and since then I've just sort of been trying to relax and slow down. But I won't lie, it has felt really difficult, and it's been sort of up and down because I feel like I'm sort of trying to regulate my nervous system or reset my nervous system, because what I realized was I've been waking up anxious because I'm not doing things. I've been waking up feeling annoyed with myself because I wasn't being productive. And I realized that this is sort of a trauma response. This is sort of something that's been sort of ingrained into me since I was young, because as someone who is actually on the ADHD spectrum, ADD, formerly ADD, or to be exact, I'm ADHD-I, meaning inattentive. So I struggle more with distractions. I'm not your stereotypical ADHDer that's, sort of abrupt and can't sit still. Like, I'm pretty good at sitting still and being quiet. It's more that my mind struggles with concentrating, especially in very loud areas. And when people are talking to me, it's very hard to listen, especially if I see things moving around in the corner of my eyes, or if I can hear 5 other conversations. And the thing is, I can actually hear every single thing people are saying around me. It's like, I can't even explain it. Unless you have ADHD, you won't get it. But anyway, so going back to, my trauma response with, being productive, I felt like growing up, my parents, both my mum and dad, were hard workers, were workaholics. They're always working. My mum worked in, a factory. My dad was a truck driver, and they were always at work. And my siblings and I were always just sort of at home with our grandparents. They're the ones who probably were there for us the most. And then our parents would come home and they'd be tired. But anyway, basically, my siblings and I grew up learning from through our own parents that, you've got to work hard. And if you don't work, you're lazy. And with me being on the ADHD spectrum and, my parents not being aware of this, and me only coming to terms with this and understanding this part of me in more recent years, I was kind of that child that was considered lazy because I was just really bad with personal hygiene, really bad with cleaning up my room, and just very sort of sleepy. Like, I slept in a lot, but the thing is, I was always up very late as well. I was always a night owl, and I still am a night owl, hence why I have really bad heavy bags. And you know what? Let me show you. Can you see how bad my bags are? Do you see? And I'm showing this to you because I don't give a ish what people say. And I'll tell you an interesting story. In year 12, oh, actually no, I think in my early 20s, I had to go to this formal with my best friend, and then some of the girls in her class approached me and asked me if I was on drugs because of my heavy bags. And I felt so insulted because, number one, I have never touched drugs, especially at that time. I'm not saying that I have never touched drugs later on in life. I have tried a couple of things here, there, a couple only, a couple to 3. Anyway, digressing, but I was quite insulted because I was like, dude, I just, had a bad night. And it was quite, insulting and rude. And I will tell you now, I didn't feel those girls were coming from a place of genuine concern. It was a place of, let's have a poke at her, let's make her feel insecure. But anyway, digressing, right? So growing up, I felt like I had to be working hard to be appreciated, or my self-worth. Actually, I'll rephrase it this way. My self-worth revolved around me being productive, me working hard. And so I believe this is why I became a workaholic. And I really did. And after high school, just passing year 12, actually, I ended up working in the restaurant industry or hospitality industry, and I did that for quite a few years. And after that, I've done all kinds of other things too. I moved to Japan in 2007, and I was there for a year just teaching English to young children. And then I came back, worked in hospitality again, part-time, whilst also studying my beauty therapy course. And after that, I became a beauty therapist for a couple of years. And then after that, took a break, a short, very short break, and then ended up in the sort of corporate world, which is really funny because I'll tell you what, I never, ever, 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 ever imagined myself in the corporate world because I had convinced myself that number one, it was not for me. Number two, I wasn't smart enough, not an academic, because when I envisioned corporate world, I envisioned all the smarty pants, the people who went to university working in those jobs. But yeah, I happened to fall into a corporate job by chance, just starting off as a receptionist, and this was back in 2010 because funnily enough, one of my beauty therapy clients worked for a recruitment agency, and when she had heard that I had left my beauty therapy job, she actually approached me and said, "Oh, there's this 1 month receptionist contract. Do you want to do it? Since you want some cash, I assume." And I agreed, and I was like, "Okay, what does it involve?" It's like, "Oh, probably picking up phones. Just as long as you know how to use a computer and everything," which is fine. I've been using computers since the 1990s or mid 1990s, so yeah, I know how to use computers. And yeah, I ended up in that role, and what was meant to be a 1 month gig ended up being over a year, and I actually got promoted really quickly in that role. And that's when I realized, oh, I actually don't mind office jobs, and I'm actually not so bad at it. And yeah, and ever since then I've been in the corporate world ever since, and I've worked in a lot of different industries. So that first role, it was in property investment or land banking. Then my next role, I actually moved into real estate, not as an agent, but as a campaign manager or sort of coordinator type role. Then I worked for a media company or News Corp Australia, one of their newspapers, as a personal assistant. And then I moved into aged care, and finally charity organization, not for profit. And the funny thing is, I've always wanted to work for a not for profit or a charity organization because deep down, I've always been a service soul. I've always loved helping people, and that's really part of who I am. And I'm just so glad that I finally got to that point. I got to tick off that last box, and now I'm here unemployed. But even though I say unemployed, the truth is I am going to start my own thing very soon, or at least next year. I'm sort of going through the process now of getting everything ready, but before I can get everything ready, I felt like I basically had to clean house, and literally clean house too. So my room was a total mess, and if I have time to edit this video, I'll try to throw a photo of what I was working with, and I'll do a photo of what it looks like afterwards. So yeah, but it's been a bit of a journey the past few months. The first month I was just sort of zoned out, tapped out, just being sort of slow, almost sloth like, and just trying to relax. And at the same time, I feel like I was processing the loss of Dory as well, our cat. And yeah, did I mention this video yet, that story there, and that's Bolo? Not sure, but yeah, I've just been taking it easy, and now that I've sort of slowly cleaned up my room, and then next week I'm hoping to clean out the garage as well and just do a few more adjustments. And then I feel like my space and mind is clear, and at the same time I'm going to get some professional help, in the sense that as a healer myself, a shamanic practitioner, I decided to engage another shamanic practitioner to help me sort of cut some final cords off, because I feel like there's a bit of energetic attachment still holding on to me. Like I can really feel certain energies still attached to me. I won't let go. So I'm going to see a shaman next week to sort of get that final cord cut. And then I think I'll be more focused on working on what I want to work on. I'm really sorry that I'm sort of all over the place right now, because there's just a lot on my mind, and I'm still figuring myself out. And I won't lie, I am often thinking about my finances and thinking, oh my god, how am I gonna survive? How am I gonna make it? I've got all these expenses coming up, especially car expenses. Car expenses are like insurance, car service, annual car service, and just a few months ago I had to pay the car registration. yeah, and then I've had a few incidents with my tires like a few months ago during Mercury retrograde, of course. But yeah, it's been an interesting journey, but that's where I'm at right now. So right now I'm just sort of cleaning house, tidying everything up, creating space for new ideas to come in. And I feel like just by cleaning my room and really reorganizing things, I felt a lot of weight get lifted off. And I feel like even sitting here now, just looking at my room, I feel so relaxed. I feel like I can think better. I can create in this space now. And I know, this looks quite messy. There's a lot, but you should have seen all these books and stuff over here were like scattered all over the room. Clothes were all over the room. Things were all over the room. And my husband said to me, he's like, I realized you're like your grandfather. You're a hoarder. And I'm like, no, I'm not like my grandfather. Which is true. My grandfather, unfortunately, he has, yeah, a serious hoarding problem, and I understand why, because he went through some pretty awful things in his time. Like, he obviously came from Vietnam during a war-torn time, and actually on his wedding day with my grandma, they got robbed by, I think, the communist soldiers. So that was pretty traumatic for them. I think they lost a lot of things, so I think there is a bit of poverty consciousness stuff going on there, right? But anyway, I'm just rambling on and on. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. Right now, I am working towards cleaning out everything, creating space, slowing down, because I realized that, like I said, me being a workaholic was more of a trauma response, and I need to realize and learn that it's okay to slow down. And actually, through slowing down, you actually become more productive. And I know that sounds like a contradiction, but it truly is true, if that makes sense, because it's only when you slow down and make space that new ideas can come through, and that's when, yeah, things will just sort of work out for the better. And while I was actually cleaning out everything, I came across all these old diaries and work diaries and even like employment agreements over the last 10 plus years, and I started to realize, hey, you've actually done quite a lot. You've actually elevated quite a lot, and you should give yourself more credit. And I feel like that's another thing. I have been giving myself a really hard time, especially after finishing up at my last job, and the last 2 months I've been going through these up and down moments, and there are moments where I'm just like, oh my god, you're so lazy, you're unproductive, you're not doing anything. How is it you haven't even figured this out yet or that out yet? You said you were gonna, launch your website, you said you were gonna do this, you said you were gonna do that, and you've done none of it. Like, you're so, pathetic. Like, I was beating myself up like that all the time, right? And I came to realize that, hang on a minute, give yourself more credit because you've done so much. And, that reminds me of a quote by Bill Gates where he goes, most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And it's really true, because when I started to look at everything that I've done over the years, not just in the 1 year, but over the years, I realized, wow, you've done so much. And even with while embarking on the spiritual path, I realized, dude, you've actually learned so much. You've done XYZ courses, you've read XYZ books, you've received XYZ healings and done these experiences, and at the same time you've built your connection with spirit. It's so much stronger. So why are you still like giving yourself a hard time? Why are you complaining? Why can you not see where you are right now and just be grateful and be present and just be happy? And again, trauma response, because when I was a child, when I was young, I used to beat myself up all the time that I felt like I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I have to do better, because I was constantly looking at everyone around me and feeling like they were all ahead of me. And yeah, that's why I am the way I am. But I'm learning now to let those things go. I'm learning now that I am good enough. I'm learning now that what's most important is that I'm working with my own time, going at my own pace, doing things my own way, and not worrying about what everyone else is. And I'm sure there are people out there wondering, say, what's Taro up to right now? Is she planning to start a business? Is she not? Why is she moving so slow? But the truth is, I spent 20 years in the workforce moving fast and going bang, 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 bang. And honestly, my soul is exhausted. And now it's time for me to shift gears and almost be the game changer, where instead of being productive in a fast way, I'm going to be productive through slowing it down, which sounds weird and, like I said, contradictory. But I feel like there's something to this. Through slowing down, you become more productive. Through slowing down, more things come. And I really do feel that way. And with even though I've slowed down and quit my job, I've had like four sort of private numerology gigs that, pay decent as well over the last few months. So I know that, and the thing is, I didn't even chase those things, and I realized that, yeah, this is a sign of what happens when you slow down and just let things flow to you and just keep, going at your own pace and doing it slowly and not pushing yourself so hard. And it's okay to have rest days. It's okay to have, couch potato days. The other week I was watching Princess Diaries, and I'll tell you what, it was the first time I watched Princess Diaries, right? Princess Diaries 1 and 2. And that movie's like over 20 years old. And I was just like, oh, this is a cute movie. Why didn't I watch this sooner? But it came out in 2001, which was year 12 for me. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling on now. So that's where I'm at, and that's what I'm up to, and we'll just see where I go from here. I don't really know. I don't have set goals or set plans. Like, I have an idea of where I'd like to head towards, but if you were to ask me, so what's the next step, what's this, what's that, like, I don't really know, because I'm just going with the flow right now. And if I feel intuitively guided to come online and talk about XYZ, then I will, and if I'm not, then I won't. And today I felt intuitively guided to come on because it is the 11th of the 11th. Did I mention that at the start? But yeah, we'll just see how it goes, okay? But I am going to, after like maybe in a couple more weeks or another week or two, after I've sort of sorted out the garage, because the garage and also my bathroom is the next area that I want to clear out to create space. And after my shamanic healing next week, I feel like I'm going to have more headspace and more motivation to, do what I came here to do. And that is to be in service and to just help people and inspire people and uplift people. And I know it's something that I do very well because I've been doing it most of my life, because people have always gravitated towards me. And the funny thing is, I'm actually highly introverted, yet I've lived the life of a socialite. And yeah, people who have been in my life for a long time know that about me. They know that Tayo's pretty much a socialite, but she claims to be an introvert. But the thing is, people don't understand what it means to be an introvert. They think that introverts don't have a life, and that's not true. It just means I need my recharge time. I need downtime. I get drained in these environments. I can go out into these environments, but every time I come home, the next day I'm just dead. Like, and this is probably why my parents always saw me as this lazy kid on the weekends, because I'd just be like, and after school I'd just be like, I'm so dead. I'm like over it. But anyway, yeah. I'm just going to end it here. But before we go, I would like to give you 3 healthy dings. And tell you that I love you. And yes, it is 5:40 in Australia. And it is the 11th of the 11th. Anyway, love you guys, and please take care, and I will come online soon and talk about all the amazing things and share some interesting stories to help you guys grow. At least that's the aim of this channel. Bye.